Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Metal and Motorcast. This show is Dave. I got my special guest, singer, guitarist, songwriter, Ariel Bellvalaire. How you doing, Ariel?
Good. How are you doing?
Not bad. So how you been doing throughout this coronavirus year? You been doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, at least it gives me plenty of time to practice guitar. That's for sure. And take a bunch of guitar classes that I never had time to do when I was touring.
Yeah.
So it's productive. Man, I miss the stage.
So first question I got for you is, when did you first pick up a guitar? What age?
I think I was 12. I was actually a singer in a band first. And, we were playing little rock gigs around locally.
So what age did you start singing in the band?
I think I was 10 years old, actually. So I had been in the band 2 years, and then our guitarist quit, and we couldn't find anybody who would learn songs fast enough, and I was like, you know what, I'll just learn guitar. So I did, and having to practice for a show made me practice so much harder and smarter, too, because I knew exactly what to practice and what I needed to do for stage. So I just really loved playing guitar, and my first show went really well, and I just stuck with it.
So you took lessons, or were you self-taught on guitar?
I was self-taught. My dad taught me a few chords, and I kind of just went from there. I've taken lessons here and there, but I'm mainly self-taught. I'm taking lessons now, though, because I wish I took lessons or listened to my teachers more so when I had the chance and the time.
So what was your first guitar that you owned?
Let's see. It was a blue Schecter Diamond Series. That was my first and pretty much only non-Fender. After that, the action was really high, so I wasn't a huge fan. So after my first couple shows, my dad got me a little Fender Squire, and then it was all over. It was just Fender straps from there.
Now, do you still own the Schecter, or did you just get rid of it?
No, I actually sold it to one of my old bandmates when I was 13. It was a pretty guitar, but the action was too high for me. I didn't know it then, so I just bought it. I couldn't play it.
So now, what kind of band did you start? Were you playing in when you were 12? Was it a cover band?
Oh, yeah. Well, we had some originals, too, because I started writing at a very young age. I think I wrote my first song around 13 as well. So, we would do the classic covers that every starter rocker wants to do, like, the Black Sabbath. I think we did Paranoid, Iron Man, and then eventually I graduated to Crazy Train, and that's when I started playing lead. And then we had some originals in there as well. They were kind of pop rock, like Avril Lavigne with a guitar solo.
Now, with the virus and being stuck at home, have you wrote any original stuff lately?
Yes, I have. A lot of bits and pieces, I find, because for whatever reason, I just find my brain more scattered now that I don't have work or tours. But I have written one song all the way through. I think it's actually about the pandemic. I wasn't even sure, but it sounds like it could be. And then a lot of bits and pieces, but I'm mostly just working on my guitar and singing in general.
Now, your original song, Blindside, what is Blindside about?
Oh, Blindside. I haven't heard that song in a while. I love that one. That one was about a breakup. How you think you know somebody and you catch them, red-handed lying to you. So, it's over, but you still caught them. And it's like a breakup female empowerment song.
Now, how about your other song, Take a Step Back? What was that one written about?
Pretty much, well, that one, I actually co-wrote that one. I did all the music, and then we had some lyrics as well. That one is about, being in a relationship and knowing that the other person needs to just, take a step back and think about what they're doing, because you're putting in 100%, and they're not really giving it back. They're kind of just taking it. So it's kind of just take a step back, look at yourself, kind of see what you're doing, and just really a kind of a reflection song for the other person. It was also pretty much a breakup song as well.
Now, when you were in that band, when you were 12 playing guitar, how many years were you in the band for?
Let's see. I think I was in the band until I was about 15. And then I decided I wanted to be a solo artist. So I had some solo shows after that, and I stayed a solo artist ever since.
Now, do you ever think you would release a full-length album of solo material?
I'm actually just about to. So yes.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very different from Blindside and Take a Step Back. I've still got the rock pop elements, of course, but they're more. Some of the songs are more uplifting. I've still got some breakup songs in there, but we've got some happy ones as well. And it's not just rock guitar. We've got some funk rhythms. We've got a little bit of a country feel on some of the songs. So it's kind of a mix of just everything, but it's still mainly pop rock.
Now, where are you recording at?
I actually recorded it in Nashville at a studio called Catch This Music. I'm actually signed to a label in Nashville, and we've been working on that before Corona. So I'm not sure when I'll get back to Nashville next, but we did finish the album, thankfully.
Now, who's producing it?
His name is Brett Boyer. He was in LA, but he is a Nashville producer now.
Now, how many songs will be on the album?
There's 10. We've got a couple more written that we will probably record, but there's 10 on this album coming out. I'm pretty excited about it. And there's guitar solos on almost every song, because every pop song needs a guitar solo.
Right. So who are your studio musicians?
We had James Marshall on guitar. He was absolutely phenomenal. The other ones, James actually put together the session musicians, so it was kind of his band, but they were just phenomenal. Like, I pretty much came in with the songs just acoustic and vocal, just a scratch. You know, we had the guitar chords written out, and you say, I want Avril Lavigne meets Green Day meets, I don't know, Elle King or something. You could literally say anything. And they're like, cool, what tempo? They count it off, and you're playing your song with this phenomenal band, and it sounds completely different. And you're just like, oh my God, this is my song? The Nashville players are ridiculously amazing.
Yeah, the first time I heard the song Blindside, I was thinking Avril Lavigne.
Oh, yeah. She actually made me want to be a musician. I was a gymnast before that, and then I heard Complicated, and I was like, nope, I want to be a singer.
So now, when you were 10, how did you know you can sing? How did people told you to sing or something, or how did you know you were a singer?
I always loved singing. I just remember I was at a family gathering, and it was around the holidays, and I was just singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on the top of my lungs, like on a little balcony for the family, and they're just like, oh my gosh, she can sing. But I always loved to sing before that. That was a nice validation. So and I was always in choir, too, in school.
So does the family still back you up in your musical career?
Oh, yes. They're amazing. They love seeing all my videos and all my music accomplishments. It's really nice having the support, too.
Now, do you come from a musically inclined family?
No. My dad plays guitar chords. He knows the chords. He just likes to have fun and jam. Same with some other family members. They love, like, casual jamming, but nobody is a musician. We do have some artists in the family. They're really, really good at drawing, but no actual musicians. But they love it and support it, so that's great.
Now, what guitarists are some of your big influences?
Oh, Randy Rhoads. I love him. I love his playing. Crazy Train is really what made me a guitarist. I was kind of just playing power chords before that, and then I heard that song. The intro just had me hooked. I was like, okay, I have to learn how to play this. And then I heard the solo, and I was just like, okay, no more power chords. I have to do that. So it took me a year to learn how to play that song, because I had really only been playing guitar maybe 7-8 months before that. So the first time I played that song live, I did the solo, and the audience started freaking out, saying, oh my God, a little girl just played that solo. And I was like, wow, okay, so I guess there's not too many girls that play lead guitar. So that kind of just fueled my fire, and I just kept going with it.
Now, as far as singing goes, did you take any vocal lessons at all?
Yes, I'm actually much more trained as a singer than I am guitarist. I think I started taking voice lessons around 10 years old, and then I took a bunch in New York City as well. I haven't had a lesson in a couple of years, but I still have my vocal tapes I like to practice.
Now, after all the years of being a musician so far, what still keeps you passionate about doing it?
The stage. I love performing. Just if you ever meet me, I'm just like a quiet, tiny girl. But you put me on a stage, and it's like I'm a complete different person. I just want to entertain, perform. The audience just gets me going. And after the show, I'm just like, man, this is what I live for. I can have the worst practice day ever, but the show just makes it so worth it.
So playing live is what you enjoy most about being a musician?
Oh, yes. I am a performer all the way.
Anything you hate about being a musician?
Well, touring, I love touring, but sometimes after a tour is done, you never know when your next tour is coming. So that's a little stressful. So I like to teach now in between tours. Well, when the world opens again and I can tour, ideally I want to teach kids how to play music when I'm home. So that way, the thing about being a musician, you have to have multiple skills. You need to be able to perform. You need to be able to teach if that's what you want. You have to do multiple things. It's not just like a regular 9-to-5 job.
Now, if you were able to change anything about the music industry, what would that be?
I'd probably have it more friendly to female musicians for sure. It's definitely getting better, but you'll show up to a gig and there's a female guitarist, a female drummer, and people still have the stigma like girls can't play sometimes, or else like the sound techs will be like, no, that's not how you set up an amp, and it's like, these are my settings. If I was a guy, I wouldn't have to deal with it. So it definitely changed just how they view women in general.
Now, if you didn't become a musician, what do you think you would become?
Probably definitely something creative. Maybe like an art teacher or something with kids, because I love working with young kids and I love doing creative projects. So probably a teacher of some sort, or maybe even an athlete, because I love gymnastics. I still do it. I do aerial work. I always wanted to be in the circus too. So something creative.
Now, have you done a lot of interviews?
I have, yes.
Okay.
I love them.
Okay, what is the weirdest or funniest question you've ever been asked in an interview?
Let's see. Oh, I was on a red carpet one time, and they had information my first agent had given them, and the information they gave them was about all my credentials, but it wasn't anything special. It was like extra work I had done in a TV show. Like, I was just standing in the background on set one time, and they start interviewing me on that, and they're like, how is your lead role in this? And I'm just like, oh, God, help me. And I had to, like, work my way around, and I was just like, being on set was a very interesting experience, but that threw me off, because it was not a lead role, it was just background, and I was just like, oh, God. It was one of my first interviews on a red carpet, too.
Wow. Now,
brutal.
Are there any musicians that you would love to collaborate with someday? I know it would be Randy Rhoads, but unfortunately he's gone, so that would be your number one, but
I know. I'll settle for Ozzy then. I would, that's one of my dreams. I love Ozzy so much. I love Pat Benatar. I would love to play with her. Pretty much all the iconic rockers. And John Mayer. Anybody with the guitars. Like, I love Eddie Van Halen would be great. Zach Wilde would be great, but Ozzy would be. Oh, I would be over the moon if I got to play with Ozzy.
How about Slash?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, one of my other projects sometimes I tour with is an all-girl Guns N' Roses tribute called Paradise Kitty, so I get to play all the Slash parts. I don't wear the hat, but I love playing his songs. Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, if you were able to have your fans remember one thing about you, what would you want that one thing to be that they remember about you?
I have so much fun with what I do. I don't pursue anything that I don't love. So when you come to see me play, you will just see pure joy on stage, and I really just hope it spreads joy and helps people to follow their dreams too, because that's always what I'm going to do.
All right, now do you think you could get any better as a musician, and if so, how would you achieve that?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I'll ever stop getting better. The only way I'll stop is if I quit, really. I'm actually currently taking 11 music classes right now, because I want to learn how to read music better. I want to learn how to notate music better. I want to learn other genres besides just rock. I just pretty much want to learn everything I can, like the theory. So classes is how I'm doing it, but I will always try to get better.
So now, how long has it been since you've been up on a stage now?
Man, my last show was March 13th. It was actually really sad. We got to the venue. It was in Florida, and pretty much all of my other musicians' friends, all their tours had already canceled, so I was really psyched that I had at least one more before the next one probably got shut down. We get to the venue. We start setting up for sound check, and then they cancel on us right there.
Wow.
We still got paid for the show, but we flew home, and that was the last time I stepped foot on a stage, and I didn't even get to play.
Wow. So where,
I know, right?
So where was the venue you were supposed to play at? Where was this at?
I don't remember the city, but I remember it was in Florida. It's with a Michael Jackson tribute show. That's a really fun one to play. So I would have gotten to do Dirty Diana, Beat It, and with a full cast of dancers. We do Thriller with the Zombies. It's such a fun show. I was pretty bummed we didn't get to do it.
So what's the last time you actually did play a live show?
Probably a week or so before that, because honestly, before Corona, I was doing shows almost every week, which was amazing.
Now, have you ever been to the Midwest?
Yeah, I've pretty much been everywhere.
So you played like Chicago, Wisconsin?
Yep, I don't remember the cities, but I remember they were definitely on the tour list.
Cool.
I just remember I always love coming to the Midwest because they feed us really well at the venues.
Okay. So what are some of your favorite cities to play in?
I love Nashville. North Dakota is always really fun. We have crazy energetic crowds there. Texas is always really fun. Actually, I've been to Chicago a couple times. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember we played this really cool performing arts center, and it was like a theater, and it had a really weird vibe in there, and we found out later the show was on Ghost Hunters because they thought it was haunted, so I'm just like, oh, this is so cool. So we got to play, and that was definitely Chicago. Let's see. I also loved playing in Australia. We got to play in Israel, too, and they had amazing theaters there. So, well, I actually can't really think of a venue I didn't like. I've pretty much enjoyed all of them. I just love traveling.
So how are the fans out of the country?
They are so much fun. They will get up, they will dance, and they're just having the time of their lives. Whereas in the U.S., they have a lot of fun, but sometimes you have to like really encourage them to stand up and dance. But out of the country, they're already there.
Now, have you ever been to Europe yet?
Yes. I loved it. I've played in, let's see, France, England, where else? Switzerland, Germany. I feel like there's others too, but those were the bigger shows.
Now, when you go over there, do you play festivals?
We did play some festivals. I think one of my first shows out of the country was in Tbilisi, Georgia, and we played the Black Sea Jazz Festival. It's not really jazz; it's just like this huge music festival. And who was it? I think it was not Akon. So there was some rapper after us, and he was amazing, and we were all just hanging out after. That was fun.
Now, do you have a favorite, like club to play at?
Let's see. Not really. Well, actually, yes, I do. I really love Club LA in Destin, Florida, because it looks like LA, but you see palm trees outside, but the Florida style. So it's like a quiet little beach town with a club that kind of looks like LA, and it's just like a straight up rock and roll club, and you don't see too many of those anymore, especially outside of LA.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Now, have you played any gigs with any national artists yet?
Any Nashville?
National artists, yeah. National bands.
Let's see. I played with Nick West. She was one of Prince's artists. She's amazing. And then, let's see, I did a Broadway show. That was probably the coolest show I've ever done. There was actually the Prince show on Broadway called Dearly Beloved. I played Wendy in that one. Those are probably the most national acts I've played with.
So what would you say would be one of the fondest memories of your musical career so far?
Well, Broadway, for one, was probably one of the most special experiences I ever did. I've never performed with singers and just performers that are that talented before. They can sing, they can dance, they can act, and they're just so nice. And just being on a Broadway stage, playing with Broadway musicians was just incredible. And other than that, I'd probably say being on the Gong Show. I've never really done TV contests. I've never really wanted to. But I got contacted by the show, and I don't know if you've seen it, but I do crazy gymnastics upside down with my guitar.
Yeah,
I call it shrednastics. Yeah. They had me compete on the show with my shrednastics act. I was so scared because I've never done any sort of TV competition. I can perform, but, I'm not a competitor by any means. So that was a really special experience. I probably wouldn't necessarily want to do it again just because competition shows are so stressful, and I just want to perform. But I can say I did it, and it was a really cool experience, and Mike Myers was on the show, too. I love Austin Powers.
Now, what do you think are some of the pros and cons of the music industry?
Well, the pros are you can pretty much make it as long as you just have drive and talent. More so drive. You can always develop talent and skills, but you just have to work really hard. But the cons, you never really know when your next job is coming. It's very competitive, but it is really fun. You have to love it. So really, the pros outweigh the cons. You just have to work really hard, put yourself out there, and just try to be seen. But you really have to make sure you love it because it will tire you out.
Now, how important is social media to you?
Very important. I've actually pretty much developed my whole career on social media. I had a video blow up of my guitar playing when I was 15 years old. I wasn't even very good yet, but, I was just trying to play some Ozzy solos. And that one video got 1.5 million views. And from that, I started getting calls for work. So I started getting real-life experiences from that. And without social media, I don't think I would have had any of that. And I still continue to get work calls or collaboration opportunities. Pretty much everything I've done has come from social media. You just have to put yourself out there.
Well, then also, social media can also be a double-edged sword, too, though.
Yes. Yes. I actually have to take breaks. There's a lot of times where I know I have to post just to be seen and to keep relevant and to hopefully lead to other things, but I'll post it and I'll be like, all right, I can't go on for a day or two. And honestly, sometimes when I do go on, it'll just be to respond to the comments. I don't want to scroll. I don't want to see anything. I just want to do it as a job sometimes, because you will have people from around the world that you never met just telling you how bad you are. You'll have people saying, oh, you're awesome, but you have a lot of negativity there, too, from a lot of strangers, which gets overwhelming sometimes.
Now, do you have any funny or embarrassing stories you can share about, any time on stage or anything?
Oh, my God, yes. I was in Alaska Which reminds me, I think Alaska was my favorite place I performed just because it was so pretty and I've only been there once. The stage was really slippery and I just performed my butt off that whole show and the audience loved it. The very last number, the finale, I tripped over not even my guitar cords. It was the monitor speaker cable and I fell onto my stomach and I was still soloing. And the stage is really slippery, so I'm like sliding down the stage like a freaking penguin, still playing my guitar solo. And then I start to see the edge of the stage, and the audience is already up front dancing. And they see me coming, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" And they're all putting their hands up like they're gonna catch me. Somehow I stopped right before the edge, but I was still soloing. I just got up and just laughed really hard, and I was like, "Well, that sucked," but it was pretty funny. I just wish somebody got it on film.
Yeah, that would have been pretty funny to see.
Right? That probably would have gone more viral than any awesome guitar solo I could have played.
Yeah, probably.
Oh well.
So how many social media sites can we find you on, Ariel?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I just started posting again on YouTube. That was my start, and I took a few years off to switch to Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. But I'm back to reposting, which is nice.
Now, do you have any merchandise available online?
I will shortly. We're actually designing a couple different things now. Definitely T-shirts, hats, hoodies. We're going to get some really cool, like, Shrednastics merchandise as well, just because being upside down with a guitar is visually really cool. So probably some keychains as well. They'll probably be ready within a month or two.
Awesome. You ready for some fun questions now?
Bring it.
What's your favorite food to eat?
Ooh, let's see. I love sushi. That's sushi, chicken soup, spaghetti. My favorite sushi, surprisingly, is avocado cucumber because I'm weird. Those are probably my three favorites.
What's your favorite beverage to drink?
Me being the weirdo I am, I only like water. Or coconut water. Kind of boring, I know.
Okay, if you could be a fruit, which fruit would that one be and why?
I'd be a rambutan. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're like little lychee nuts, but they're all prickly. I just think they're just really weird, and they're sweet on the inside, but on the outside they're just weird looking. And I just feel like I'm a little weirdo, but I'm actually really nice. So,
Okay.
Probably a rambutan.
Are you a cat or a dog person?
I love both. Right now I'm a guinea pig obsessed person. I've got two of them. But I'd say my next pet will probably be a cat. Probably one of the hairless ones, because like I said, I'm weird.
Top 3 favorite guitarists?
Ooh, Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen, and that's probably a tie between Slash and Nile Rodgers. They're so different.
Top 3 favorite bands of a lifetime?
Ooh, let's see. Green Day, Linkin Park, and Heart, I think.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Ann and Nancy Wilson. Yeah.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Still to this day they're going. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing on guitar, too. I love it.
First rock and roll concert you ever went to?
Avril Lavigne. I don't know if that counts as rock, but I think after that I went to Ozfest, so there was a bunch of rock bands there.
Now, what inspires you to write your lyrics?
Usually situations that happen to me. Oftentimes breakups, or when I was younger, crushes that didn't actually pan out, or just like friends stabbing you in the back type thing. Now that I'm older, it's more like just real life experiences, like touring, dealing with. Some of my songs actually sound like they could be about a boyfriend, but a lot of them are about like managers and stuff too. So now it's pretty much about people I've worked with in the past. But everything is real life experiences for me.
Now, is it a long writing process for you?
It really depends. Sometimes, this is my favorite. I wish this would happen every time. But sometimes I'll just be like walking randomly or doing something completely unrelated to music, and I'll just hear the song fully written in my head, lyrics and all, with the guitar chords, and I can just figure it out and write it down. That doesn't happen too often, but when it does, I'm very grateful. Other times, it really just depends. I've had writing sessions that last 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 4, and I've had ones that last like half an hour to an hour, really.
Now, how many times a week do you practice playing guitar?
Well, I've been practicing pretty much every waking moment of every day recently since I'm in so many music classes. Let's see, I do theory once a week, reading class once a week, and then I have other songs to learn in different genres, so I'm pretty much playing every day. But certain days are like technique days, other days are reading days. I spread out the boring stuff.
How's your hometown fan base?
It's pretty good. They love seeing a little girl from Windsor, Connecticut doing well in Los Angeles. So I still get hit up from some of my high school friends saying, just keep going, it's so cool, represent Windsor. So that's really amazing.
Now, do you go back home and play any shows over where you're from?
I haven't played any in my hometown, but I did tour through Connecticut. It was a couple towns over, so I did have some friends come to see me, and it was so cool just playing for people that I knew, because that doesn't happen very often anymore. And, of course, my whole family comes, and they're just rocking out in the front row. Especially my dad. He's got the head banging down.
So how many siblings do you have?
I'm actually an only child.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's fun. But you can't get away with anything.
Now, say in the next, 5 years from now, where do you hope to see yourself?
I really hope to be touring as a solo artist. Most of my tours right now are as a hired guitarist, and then my own solo stuff I still do all the time, and I still record. But I'm hoping some of these bigger tours are my own on festivals.
Now, I know you have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Now, do you put stuff on there pretty frequently?
YouTube is probably the least frequent. Instagram and Facebook are probably my main platforms. You'll see like anywhere from 1 to 3 videos a week, in addition to pictures. But I'm trying to keep steady with the videos, keep them coming.
Now
and it's a combination between, the shred-nastic, gymnastics. I'll do some singing videos, and of course guitar solos, because who doesn't love a guitar solo?
Now, you don't have a website yet, right?
I do. It's actually arielbellvalaire.com.
Now, do you update the website all the time?
Yes. This is actually a brand new website, too, so it's nice, shiny, and new, so it's pretty updated.
Now, what kind of advice would you give up-and-coming artists?
You just have to keep going. That's just pretty much it. You'll have people tear you down, tell you you're not good enough, but you just have to know that you are and just keep going. And even if you don't think you're good enough, you will get good enough. Just never quit. Just keep going. Put yourself out there. The more you put out there, eventually somebody will see you, and it'll start getting the ball to start rolling. But you just have to keep going. That's the biggest advice I can give.
Yeah, a lot of the musicians, the advice they give is, if you're starting out, don't be in it for the money, because these days it's not there. You gotta do it for the love of the music these days.
Oh yeah, they say broke musician. Yeah, it's a total thing. You don't have money until you've made it big. You have to love it, but you have to keep going because you love it.
Now, do you have any hobbies outside of music?
I love to cook. I love to draw. Pretty much anything creative. I love gymnastics, any sort of fitness. I found recently all of my hobbies have pretty much become part of my show. Like aerial work was my hobby, and now I'm upside down playing guitar, so it's more of a work now than a hobby, but I still love to cook and draw. Those are my two, and hike, anything in nature.
So what's one of your best dishes that you cook?
Let's see. I can make a pretty good filet mignon. I can make any sort of soup you can imagine. See. What haven't I cooked? I think my favorite is probably a Moroccan chicken dish. I went to Morocco once and was playing there, and I fell in love with the tagine. So I came up with my own spin on it, and it's so good. I put dates in it. It's nice.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Probably people not giving 100%. I am such a workaholic, so I will put 100% into my music and pretty much anything around music, whether it's like doing classwork, practicing for a class, practicing for a show. And it drives me nuts when people don't put their all and they come in with like half the song learned, or like ask me, how do you do this one? And I'm just like, you know how to do it, just do it.
What is your favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a hard one. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Spinal Tap, just because I just love anything about music, really.
Now, when you were growing up, Ariel, did you have a favorite cartoon to watch when you were a kid growing up?
I love Scooby-Doo. SpongeBob. I grew up on SpongeBob. And I think that's pretty much it.
Good old SpongeBob SquarePants, huh?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And now he's a Broadway musical.
Well, Ariel, I want to thank you very much for taking time to this interview.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. This was so much fun.
No problem. You have any final words or shout-outs, any kind of good stuff before we close out?
Just keep going. Whatever you love, even if it's not music, just keep going.
Oh, yeah, one more question. Do you have a manager or are you self-managed?
I'm self-managed right now, but I do have my team in Nashville. So we're kind of just getting the ball rolling. Going to be releasing an album soon, and hopefully management will come soon, but we're just going to keep managing the best we can, and it's working, so I'm happy.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being on the air area, and I hope you're available to do some concerts soon.
Me too. That'd be great.
Yeah. You have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Right.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Talked about was lies. I can see right through you, called you blind, but I still can't see why. But I know that we could have done better. Don't want no stories, too blind to see me. You always said forever, now close to never. Kinda too late to change things now. I'm on my way out, there's nowhere I could stay. You got my eyes wide shut, see through your lies. No more pride, my tears have all dried. Quick when you get in on the blind side. No more late night text, ignoring phone strong, moving on, putting this away. Nothing you can do, nothing you can say. It's their loss, I want it all day. Break time, pack it up, go your own way. I'm strong, moving on, putting this away. Nothing you can do, nothing you can say. It's their loss, I want it all day. No more late night texts, ignoring phone calls. All ends here, goodbye, now I'm gone. How's it feel when you get hit on the blind side? You got my eyes wide shut, see the lies. No more cries, my tears have all run dry. When you get hit on the blind side. No more late night texts, ignoring phone calls. All ends here, goodbye, now I'm gone. How I feel when you get hit on the blind side. As I think about you even more, I see you different than you were before. Why can't you just be true to yourself instead of being someone else? Look at yourself today. All I can say is I'm a little ashamed, watching you get lost in between. You never listen to me. It's just like they told you. Take a step back, take a look at yourself. Oh, you gotta slow down before you turn to someone else. Remember who you are, who you used to be. Oh, you know it's not hard as long as you can see. Why can't you go back to who you used to be? It's hard to find the words to say when your mind starts to go astray. People telling you every day that you don't act quite the same. We should realize